And her stomach had been replaced by a ball of lead. It was pulling all of her insides down, stretching them into new and unpleasant shapes. She had seen Marjorie Duval's face in the newspaper. Also on the 6 o'clock news. With hands that had absolutely no feeling, she put the rubber band back around the ID cards, put them back in the box, then put the box back in his hidey hole. She was getting ready to close it up again when she heard herself saying, "No, no, no, that isn't right. It can't be." Was that the voice of smart Darcy or stupid Darcy? It was hard to tell. All she knew for sure was that stupid Darcy had been the one to open the box. And thanks to stupid Darcy, she was falling. Taking the box back out. Thinking, it's a mistake, it has to be, we've been married over half our lives, I'd know, I would know. Opening the box. Thinking, does anybody really know anybody? Before tonight she certainly would have thought so. Marjorie Duval's driver's license was now on the top of the stack. Before, it had been on the bottom. Darcy put it there. But which of the others had been on top, the Red Cross card or the library card? It was simple, it had to be simple when there were only two choices, but she was too upset to remember. She put the library card on top and knew at once that was wrong, because the first thing she'd seen when she opened the box was a flash of red, red like blood. Of course a blood donor card would be red, and that had been the one on top. She put it there, and as she was putting the elastic back around the little collection of plastic, the phone in the house started to ring again. It was him. It was Bob, calling from Vermont, and were she in the kitchen to take the call, she'd hear his cheery voice, a voice she knew as well as her own, asking, "Hey, honey, how are you?" Her fingers jerked and the rubber band snapped. It flew away, and she cried out, whether in frustration or fear she didn't know. But really, why would she be afraid? 27 years of marriage and he had never laid a hand on her, except to caress. On only a few occasions had he raised his voice to her. The phone rang again. Again. And then cut off in mid-ring. Now he would be leaving a message. Missed you again. Damn. Give me a call so I won't worry, okay? The number is. He'd add the number of his room, too. He left nothing to chance, took nothing for granted. What she was thinking absolutely couldn't be true. It was like one of those monster delusions that sometimes reared up from the mud at the bottom of a person's mind, sparkling with hideous plausibility, that the acid indigestion was the onset of a heart attack, the headache a brain tumor, and Petra's failure to call on Sunday night meant she had been in a car accident and was lying comatose in some hospital. But those delusions usually came at 4 in the morning, when the insomnia was in charge. Not at 8 o'clock in the evening. And where was that damned rubber band? She found it at last, lying behind the carton of catalogs she never wanted to look in again. She put it in her pocket, started to get up to look for another one without remembering where she was, and thumped her head on the bottom of the table. Darcy began to cry. There were no rubber bands in any of the worktable's drawers, and that made her cry even harder. She went back through the breezeway, the terrible, inexplicable identity cards in her housecoat pocket, and got an elastic out of the kitchen drawer where she kept all sorts of semi-useful crap, paper clips, bread ties, fridge magnets that had lost most of their pull. One of these latter said Darcy rules, and had been a stocking stuffer present from Bob. On the counter, the light on top of the phone blinked steadily, saying message, message, message. She hurried back to the garage without holding the lapels of her housecoat. She no longer felt the outer chill, because the one inside was greater. And then there was the lead ball pulling down her guts, elongating them. She was vaguely aware that she needed to move her bowels, and badly. Never mind. Hold it. Pretend you're on the turnpike and the next rest area's 20 miles ahead. Get this done. Put everything back the way it was. Then you can. Then she could what? Forget it? Fat chance of that. She bound the ID cards with the elastic, realized the driver's license had somehow gotten back on top, and called herself a stupid bitch. A pejorative for which she would have slapped Bob's face, had he ever tried to hang it on her. Not that he ever had. A stupid bitch but not a bondage bitch, she muttered, and a cramp knifed her belly. She dropped to her knees and froze that way, waiting for it to pass.